You know, when somebody comes to a place like the Drop-In, there's this disbelief. I can't believe I'm here. And there's the fear, you know, that this is absolutely not where you ever imagined your life would take you. And so I think there's that sense of that disbelief, and then there's that realization that there are people here who care for me, and this is a place where I have found a sense of belonging, and you know that there's compassion, there's connection, and there's this courage to simply accept each other as we are, and so that as people, you know, as Terry, as an example, is going through this process, there is that realization that there are people here who truly care for him as a human being, not for what he can bring to them or give to them or do for them, but simply because he's a human being.
So I ended up here, tried to pull things together. Darn near made it. Then this hit, and now this will be the last place. I want to keep breathing, kicking and chasing the women, damn it. Or ain't I allowed to anymore? Hey, just because I'm ill, it don't mean I can't. I ain't blind and I ain't deaf. And I ain't totally immobile. Life is worth living even if it is only for a few days more. I joke about it, but you know, what else can you do? It's there. So you make the best of it. When they dragged me from here to the hospital, I was already stage 3 and didn't know it. Didn't know I had anything wrong. Then they hit me with that. So what do? Life goes on.
Initially for me, I was relieved to know what was wrong with her. I was like, okay, we now know what's wrong now, let's attack it and go on. I never dreamed that it would be the most inoperable, incurable cancer in the world. I was just, we could do this, Terry. You know, together, anything is possible.
When he was in hospital last time, there was talk of sending him to hospice. And he had said to Dr. Hurley, I don't want to go to hospice. I really want to go back to the DI. And so the commitment was made that we would do whatever we could to make it possible for him to stay here. And I think what it really says is that for Terry, I mean, death is scary. And I think anything we can do to help him feel safe counts. And I think for Terry, what it says is that this is where he feels safe and welcome, as well as amongst people he knows and his family.
I know nobody in hospice. All my friends are here. So where would you rather be? In a place that you know nobody, or with friends?
This is their home. When you see someone like Terry, and we had another gentleman recently who died, he was the same way. This was his home, and he was not going to leave here. I mean, he was offered. They offered to get him an apartment. They offered, because he was such a hard worker, they offered to do other things for him. He chose no, that this is where he preferred to be here. This was normal for him. So normal for you or normal for me is not normal for our clients. And that's what people need to understand when you're looking at clients that are homeless or that are in transition, if they're in between homes and they end up staying at a place like the Drop-In Centre.
There's a lot they don't know. And there's a lot they'll never know because of mentality and attitude. People that have, they walk around nose in the air. They don't realize that that's a human being they're walking by. Just doesn't have the same prospects that they had. Got to fight a little harder to get what he needs or she needs. don't turn your nose up at them. Offer them a helping hand. You know, don't just push them out of the way. Because you never know. One day you might be in that person's very shoes. Then how do you feel?
And there's an African tribe that doesn't have a word for hello, you know, and all they do when they see somebody is they say, you know, I see you. And that's with Terry, I see you. And I think for me, that's what I feel with Terry, is that he sees me. I don't have to be anybody else than me, and that's what I can give him. And I just believe that it's important that we are there.
Definitely deteriorated, but his spirit hasn't. His health may have, but his emotional health is good, and he's absolutely positive about things. I know that he's, deep down, he's worrying and thinking about what's going to happen with him, but this is his home and this is where he wants to be.
You got a positive outlook on life, you're going to gain 2 or 3 weeks. It may not be much. It may not sound like much, but I'll tell you it is. But if you got a defeated attitude, like, well, there's nothing I can do, it's over, 2 or 3 days, and you're already crawling. It's already pushing you under. Attitude towards it is a big thing. The better the attitude, the better chances you have. You're not going to walk away from it, believe me. You don't walk away from this. It just puts you a little extra time, that's all it does.
I have moments of, okay, the phone's not ringing, the fax machine's not ringing, I don't have anything to do right now for the next 10 minutes. I'll just go and sneak up and check in on him. And sometimes those 10 minutes turn into an hour, just because he just needed somebody to talk to. Sometimes those 10 minutes are 2 minutes because he's asleep, and I don't want to bother him. But he knows I check on him. Somehow he knows. I check on. I think the other guys never talk about me. That's a lot.
Oh, I feel it. Believe me, I feel it. There's been times when I had to literally pull myself up out of bed to stand up because there's no right leg was just bumped. But pain pills help. The TLC really helps. As long as they can control the outcome, like the medication and the pain and that, as long as they can deal with it, I'm fine here. Otherwise, then they'll have to move me to where they can control it. And I hope that day never comes. Like I say, this is home.
You know, I think it's our hearts that get so touched, and so not having him here will be sad. And yet at the same time, my life is so enriched for having known him, right? And I've been able to grow because of knowing him, and I've been able to experience things that, it really is special to be able to walk beside somebody and know that in some small way I'm adding comfort or value, and that all of us are doing that, and that we know that Terry feels supported by all of us. And I just think that's a great gift for all of us.
Dying ain't for the living, man. It makes you sit back and take a real good look at things. Because we know it's there. And we know the outcome. It's just a matter of how do you feel about it? Are you ready for it? Are you not ready for it? Nobody's ever ready. It happens, it happens. But as long as you can, well, in my case, I feel as long as I can get something positive out there towards for other people, great. Because they need a lot. And this place here is fantastic for it. It's life. It's home.